Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live, everyone. Crustacean inflation. Summer is crawling closer, and that means it's almost lobster season. But like everything else, inflation is making this delicacy even more expensive. Alexandra Canal. Allie, Canal is here with a look at what's driving up prices and how one company is weathering this storm. All right, so how are they doing it?
All right, guys. Well, I first want to say that lobster rolls are my absolute favorite. In fact, in that graphic you guys just watched, I was eating a lobster roll in Maine. So if that's not the representation of how I feel about lobster, but you're right. It's one of the most expensive sandwiches, if not the most expensive out there. So I was curious to dig in a little bit more what the inflation aspect is looking like. So I spoke with Jim Salikas from Cousins Maine Lobster. They're a Shark Tank success story. They have 31 franchisee trucks, 10 restaurants nationwide. They're killing it on all cylinders, but they were not immune to price increases. You can see we have a cool graphic that shows how much prices have gone up at Cousins Maine over the years. This is the national average, and it will differ depending on the state and the city, but you see 2018 to 2019, $17.50 to $18. 2020 to 2021, during the pandemic, they had to raise prices a bit. And then 2022, you see the average price between $21 and $22. I checked here in New York City, that price is $22.50. And this is due to a few different factors. Number one being supply and demand. So you would think during COVID, people were maybe not leaning into lobsters that much, but that's not true. They wanted to eat it. They were home. They were experimenting. So the demand went up, but that created a sort of a backlog in the supply. And then, of course, we have this inflationary environment that we're operating within, and the price has gone up for virtually everything right now. So that's just a few things that the lobster industry is dealing with, but we are still seeing consumers wanting to enjoy this affordable delicacy.
I'm seeing that some restaurants are even having to take these off their menu because of the expenses. So how is this company able to keep prices down despite all the headwinds like supply and demand and inflation?
So one really cool thing that they're doing is there are different parts of a lobster, right? There's the claw and there's the tail. And depending on the supply and demand of that time, certain parts of a lobster are cheaper. So they're using the cheaper parts to try and drive down cost. But in terms of the consumer, they're not really pushing back that much on the price increases because they are not going and eating lobster rolls every single day, right? Like they are enjoying it occasionally, once in a while. So they're more willing to pay that cost. And they also are aware that when it comes to price increases, inflation is happening everywhere. And I see you are very anxious, Brad, to eat that lobster roll.
He is,
You've been grabbing at that.
I thought we were on on Michelle's question. I thought we had some time.
All right, so get after it.
Okay.
I have never had a lobster roll in my life. 45
Dave,
years.
crazy.
I know I'm not a mayonnaise guy,
You've
but
never had a lobster roll?
Never, Rochelle.
Wow.
I just, mayonnaise freaks me out, and I do understand there are some buttered ones,
there's
but it
a
doesn't
lemon.
look like
There's
mayonnaise
not that
on
much
these.
mayonnaise on this one.
There's not
Okay.
much.
Now, this is about 4 to 5 pounds of lobster meat. They only have one size here at this restaurant. But look, I mean,
That is a
lot.
solid, meaty sandwich.
pretty meaty.
And that's $21 to $22 right now.
Yes, in New York, it's $22.50, so it depends on where you are. But I mean,
Hey man, a burger costs 20 bucks in
solid.
New York right now.
right, I get
Oh,
a
my
sweet green
goodness.
salad for 20
Yeah.
bucks. So I mean, I'd rather have a lobster roll.
Allie, great stuff. I'm going to try one here in a minute. after
Rochelle
I
even
finish reading.
chimed in from the land of Maryland blue
Sorry,
crabs
Rochelle,
down
you
there.
missed out. Being in
Rochelle!
DC.
I will
This is
send
crab
you
country
them.
around here. DC and Maryland is crab country, so you know we're all about the good seafood.